Hey guys, I want to talk to you all about Twitch.tv. A lot of you have been to the website before, maybe you've even seen me. Hopefully this video gets a large enough and broad enough audience, so maybe some of you guys might not be familiar with who I am. My name's Asmongold, I've made content for the better part of 10 years. I've been a top Twitch streamer for also the better part of 10 years, and I have watched my platform degrade and turn into probably the worst iteration, the worst version of itself that it has ever been.
That's right, Asmongold posted another potato quality webcam video, which means it's gonna be good. This one called It's About to Get Much Worse is about the Emiru Twitch situation combined with a whole bunch of other problems at Twitch. So today I thought we'd take a look at it because there literally is nobody who's a bigger expert on Twitch than Asmongold. And I talk about Twitch a lot, so I was actually really intrigued by this video because I think Asmongold does a great job at pointing out all the things wrong with the current incarnation of Twitch. So let's let him keep talking and see exactly what he says. Right after you hit that like button, seriously, it would really help me if you could press the like button. Thank you so much.
I want to talk about exactly where things stand right now, how we got there, and where I think that they're going. Now, just recently, there was a TwitchCon event where a very popular female streamer, Emiru, was assaulted by a person at her meet and greet. Twitch decided to deal with this by ignoring it originally, lying about the events as they occurred, and then offering as a restitution suspending this person's account for 30 days.
I can't go past that without stopping to talk about that. Asmongold is 100% correct when he says that they wanted to ban this guy for 30 days. According to Emiru, that was the first thing that Twitch offered as like restitution for the fact that she had been assaulted. So you get assaulted at TwitchCon, right? You're a major Twitch streamer. She's one of the biggest female Twitch streamers. A guy comes up, he grabs her, he tries to kiss her, and not only did the TwitchCon security do nothing, it had to be Emiru's own security guard to do something. Then they waited hours to actually round the guy up. It turned out that Twitch, once they figured out who he was, all they wanted to do was give him a 30-day ban from the platform. A 30-day ban for physically attacking one of the biggest female streamers on Twitch at a Twitch official event. That's insane. Absolutely insane. And then they lied about it. They said they found the guy immediately. No, it took them hours, according to Emiru. So I can't understand how Twitch is so incompetent all the time. But Asmongold is going to get into Twitch's incompetence.
Yes, this is actually what happened. She came out and said it herself. You can watch her recent VOD on Twitch, twitch.tv/Emiru if you'd like to find out for yourself. But anyway, basically Twitch totally mismanaged this situation. This also comes after the previous year of Twitch allowing another streamer to assault two male streamers, also friends of mine, NMPLOL and Wake Wilder, one by kissing their hand and the other one by licking their nipple. This apparently didn't get as much attention because obviously it didn't happen to a girl, and it just wasn't as big of a thing, it didn't get as much traction. So, big surprise, Twitch decided to let it happen again this year, and luckily, and thank you for all of you guys that are not letting them get away with it.
What Asmongold's talking about there is last year, there were two streamers who were attacked by somebody else, and at the time, it was a big thing on Twitter, but it was nowhere near as big as the controversy that came up over the guy attacking Emiru. Obviously, a guy attacking a female streamer is going to get more attention online because guys shouldn't attack women, and people don't take assaults seriously against men, unfortunately. So Twitch was able to sweep that one under the rug, and I think because they were able to basically ignore that, that's why they tried to lie about what happened to Emiru. I think they figured, oh, we got away with it in the past, why don't we just ignore this one too? Well, it didn't work out for them this time, fortunately enough.
Today, I want to talk to you all about how bad it's really gotten, because a lot of you probably don't pay attention every day, and I think that really for your sanity, that's probably a good thing. Unfortunately, I do. So in the past, I think probably year or so, Twitch has, I think, become a worse and worse version of itself. And I'm going to talk about this, and I really want to make this very clear with this video, is that there's not one point of failure. And in fact, actually, I would say that it would be easier if I could point to one point of success. If. I can't, but theoretically it would be easier. The entire thing, it seems like, is rotten. It's rotten at the top, it's rotten in the middle, and it's rotten at the bottom. The moderation is wrong. The advertising team is totally, completely off base. The executive team seems to be completely disconnected, and when they're not disconnected, they're actively malicious, or at least indirectly malicious. Like, for example, misrepresenting what happened with Emiru's story.
He says the Twitch leadership are disconnected or malicious. I would say that they're also incompetent. I don't think the executives can understand the knock-on effects of the policies that they've been pushing. The inconsistent moderation, when they're going after people like Tectone and trying to ban him for a month for saying mean things about Frogan, but then they tell Emiru, hey, that guy who actually physically attacked you at our event, we only want to ban him for 30 days. They wanted to ban Tectone for saying something mean about Frogan from Twitch for the same amount of time as they wanted to ban somebody who physically attacked one of their top female streamers. Just think about the incompetence there. Not only is that a moderation incompetence, because first off, I don't even know why it's a moderation issue. It's a legal issue, so I don't know why their first reaction was to just ban this guy from the website. Second off, it's a leadership issue because nobody sees seems to know what they're doing. Nobody has any idea how to respond to any type of crisis, and they basically ignored Emiru after this happened. Emiru did say that some members of the Twitch executive team, Asmongold revealed it was actually Dan Clancy himself, the CEO, were out drinking right after she was attacked. Obviously, that means they weren't taking the situation very seriously, but to be fair to them, I don't think they take their jobs very seriously. So let's let Asmongold continue.
The only time that things ever seem to happen even slightly is when Amazon, their parent company, tries to take control because they've totally run things into the ground. And hopefully this can reach some people at Amazon and they can realize just how bad things truly are. So the first thing I'd want you guys to all look at is if you go to twitchtracker.com, you can just look at the stats of Twitch. If you look at the beginning of 2025 and you look at now, it has been on a steady decline. And whenever I'm talking about a steady decline, I'm not talking about a 10% decline. We're looking at about a 30 to 40% decline in viewership from the start of the year up until now, with it just trending more and more downward. And this is even despite Kai doing a massive event last month and the FaZe subathon that's been going around this month.
I want to stop him there and just point out that I think the reason for this in part is because not just of Twitch's moderation pushing more people towards Kick, but actually because the massive amount of ads that Twitch pushes onto their viewers. Now, of course, a lot of that is the streamers. There's a lot of streamers, especially the younger guys streamers, who have the young audiences who pack their streams full of ads. But even just as like a casual viewer, if I try to go to Twitch and watch a stream, I usually just end up leaving because there's too many ads and I don't care that much. Especially if I'm going to find a stream from somebody I don't know. There's no reason for me to click on a new streamer because if I don't enjoy their stream, I just watch 2 minutes of ads in order to watch it. It's a waste of time and it's a terrible system. They need to do something about the ads. I don't know how they can fix it, to be honest with you, because I don't think Twitch is profitable, even with all of these ads being shown, but they need to do something. It's ridiculous. Somehow YouTube makes it work.
So after that happens, after that's over, I assume that it's even going to get worse than it even is now. And Twitch is even going back to its pre-COVID numbers. This is while at the same time YouTube is succeeding, Kick is succeeding, TikTok is succeeding, and Twitch is dying. Twitch is dying. Why is Twitch dying? Well, it's because they're killing it. That's the reason why. And let's talk about all the different ways how. So I think one of the meta level things that a lot of you guys here on YouTube probably know all too well is the advertising situation on Twitch. Ads are extremely prevalent on Twitch. Twitch has effectively incentivized creators into making a Faustian pact with Twitch and also, unfortunately, against their viewers in order to have to run a certain amount of ads per hour that will then guarantee them a minimum income that will allow them to make a certain amount of money. This amount of money is a very large amount of money, especially for smaller creators, and Twitch has effectively incentivized creators to kill their own platform and to kill their own streams. And as I said before, judging by the graphs, it's doing really well. So basically, the advertising situation with Twitch is that you get ads. You have some streams that, like, this is an hour long per stream, right? And for every hour, it's 8 minutes of ads. This is insane.
8 minutes of ads in an hour is probably more than they play on network television. Like I said before, it's the one reason that I don't watch a lot of Twitch. I usually wait until somebody uploads to YouTube because at least I know YouTube's ads aren't that bad, right? You can skip the ads and they're not as intrusive as the ones on Twitch, especially because if you're trying to watch something live and then an ad plays, you're missing part of the live stream because the live stream doesn't stop while the ad's playing. It makes it impossible to watch a stream, especially if there's something important going on. Oh no, suddenly you get an ad and then you can't watch it and then it comes back, whatever you were trying to watch is over and the streamer's moved on to something new. So you've completely missed a topic because you just had to watch 2 minutes of ads. The ad situation is terrible at Twitch.
And that's not even to count sponsors and other things like this. Twitch has constantly been behind in terms of technological advancements. They've decided to lock the, renowned feature of being able to, believe this, rewind a stream. They've decided to paywall the ability to rewind a stream without any sort of problems or having to go back to the VOD. So that's the way that they think.
What he's talking about there is if you look here on YouTube, I have this bar where I can scrub backwards and forwards in the stream. Twitch actually recently implemented something like that because Kick has it, and the fact that Kick, who just started, has it and Twitch didn't, made them look bad. But Twitch decided that, hey, we can probably get people to buy Twitch Turbo, I believe it is, by just paywalling this feature behind that, because people have been complaining about this for years. So why don't we just give it to them but make them pay for it? We'll make a lot of money. It's ridiculous for them to paywall something that's such a basic feature that every other platform has for free for their users, because it makes watching streams possible, right? If you have to go to the bathroom on YouTube, if you're watching a YouTube stream, you can click and go back a couple minutes. If you're watching a Kick stream, you can click and go back a couple minutes. But if you're watching a Twitch stream, unless you've paid, you better not be going to the bathroom because you're not going to see what was going on.
That's how much they care about you as a viewer. So while they're not spamming you with ads or allowing you to watch other types of perverse, deranged content, or also making you sit through a stream that has horrible quality, they're making you have to go back and rewind by opening up a second page. So Twitch recently has claimed to do something about the viewbot situation. Well, anybody, I'm not going to name names, okay? But we all know who's viewbotting. There are a lot of people who are still viewbotting at massive degrees, and Twitch has done effectively nothing. But one of the things that they have done is they have effectively killed the careers of a number of small streamers. I'm talking about streamers that are getting 20 viewers, and now they've been nerfed down to 4. I'm talking about streamers that used to get 200, and now they're getting 20, or 40, or something like that. And for a creator like that, you have the difference between a part-time job and a hobby. So you have people that, you know, at some point were making a good amount of money, and now because of this recalculation, it has just simply changed the way that it's being calculated, and it's completely killed their discoverability, and it's killed their channel. Not every single one of these people are viewbotting, and if they were all viewbotting, then the big streamers that are still viewbotting would have also been affected.
So what Asmongold's talking about there is the fact that recently Twitch made a change to the algorithm where it looks at your viewers, and it seems like if your viewers haven't typed in chat recently, it doesn't count them as viewers on your stream, which obviously kills your view count in the rankings. And because Twitch has no discoverability algorithm except basically for how many people are watching you, that has destroyed channels. You have to force your chatters to actually type in chat now, or they don't count as a viewer. No more lurkers, I guess. You can't lurk in a stream anymore, because if you do, you're not helping the streamer at all. You have to type, you have to be engaged, and that's kind of an unreasonable requirement for a lot of reasons. You know, people tend to just put streams on and then walk away and cook or something while listening to it. But if you do that now, you're actually hurting the streamer because it makes it look like they were viewbotting. And of course, Twitch did this because a couple months ago, they made a different change where a ton of the big streamers all lost thousands and thousands of live viewers. And it seems like that was all because of botting. And then Twitch reverted that change, it seems like, because all the big streamers were losing thousands and thousands of viewers, and it was making their view numbers tank. So this new thing they're trying basically affects small streamers who don't have active chats, but the big streamers with the spamming chats, they're fine. They basically reoriented the entire bot fighting measures in order to specifically target small streamers. And it doesn't make any sense for them to do it that way. They should be looking at the big streamers who are cheating, especially because they paid the big streamers more money for the botted views. So I don't know what they're thinking, except that I don't think they're thinking.
Effectively, what Twitch's changes have done is they've punished and hurt small creators that actually probably weren't viewbotting, or if they were, it was maybe like their friend opening up their stream on a second channel. Oops, that was my chair, not me. Everything is fine. Yeah, it's basically they're opening up their friend's stream on a second channel. Oh, wow, it's 2 or 3 extra views. Meanwhile, you have people at the top that are viewbotting 10, 20, 30,000 viewers. So Twitch doesn't really give a fuck about this at all, and it seems like they're just letting all of these small streamers let their careers pretty much go by the wayside. And that's all at the same time, by the way, that nobody is getting banned for viewbotting. They're not trying to blacklist certain accounts with obviously that are viewbotting. They're not doing anything like that at all. So they've just let this situation get worse and worse and worse, and by trying to fix it, they've ended up punishing the lifeblood of what their community is, which is all of those small and mid-sized creators that really create the ecosystem. Twitch is a lot like a rainforest or any sort of a forest or something like that, where you have the very large sequoia trees, you've got the big trees, you've got the Kais, you've got the Hassans, you've got the Miis, you've got the XQCs, you've got the Jinxies, but you also need the shrubs, you need the smaller trees, you need the flowers, you need the mushrooms, and you need all the little bugs that are in between. And if you don't have that entire ecosystem, those big trees will also begin to die. And that's what we're seeing happening. You're seeing everybody's viewership going down, you're seeing people going on the platform less, and I think the reason for that is very simple. It's because the viewer experience has become increasingly worse because of more and more ads. You're having content becoming increasingly more controlled, and you're also just simply having people get tired of seeing the same thing over and over and over, and other platforms encroaching on Twitch's for a long time first mover advantage and finally gaining some foothold.
Asmongold is totally right there. The idea that you don't need small streamers on a platform like Twitch is stupid. You need them. You need the small viewer base, the people who draw in new viewers, who keep the experience diverse. Right? Because there's small streamers who try out new things all the time, whereas once streamers get big, they tend to be much more stuck in their way and doing the same thing over and over again, because losing your audience is very easy on Twitch. If you do something weird that isn't what you normally do, you tend to lose viewers. So the people who are really pushing the envelopes are the small and mid-sized creators who are building their audiences by trying new stuff. And then those people who are trying new stuff inspire the bigger streamers who now know it's safe to try this new stuff, and then they go out and do that, which is actually how IRL streaming and like the politics streaming Asmongold does because that's how that started. Small streamers started doing it and they grew. So the bigger streamers started doing it. They realized it helped their audiences too. And so everybody started doing it. And that's how culture grows at Twitch. Somebody has to take the risk. And that's usually not the big streamers. Usually that's the small and mid-sized streamers. So without them, Twitch is going to stagnate completely.
Now, this also comes at the same time that Twitch has recently had TwitchCon. They've allowed their streamers to be assaulted at the same time, and now we're seeing too, this is something that happened a couple of days ago. Twitch put a streamer on their front page, and I hate to say this because it's just so weird, disgusting, perverse, and deranged, but I'm just going to say it the way it is. They basically had somebody who is a diaper fur. This is, I hate to explain this, but I think you need to understand it because Twitch understands it well enough to put it on their front page. They had a creator go on there that is putting their avatar and drawing art of very, very underage. Again, they're wearing diapers, of furry characters in compromising positions, and this is on the front page of Twitch. After the controversy of this happened, obviously this person was suspended, and then they were unsuspended for a day later. Less than a day later, you had a person who is a borderline furry that has been unbanned on Twitch that is drawing art of compromising positions of very, very deliberately underage characters. They've been banned for under 1 day.
I really hate that I can't disagree with anything Asmon just said. The idea that Twitch was able to put this person, you'll see him on screen now, on the front page, while they were doing all sorts of crazy stuff, and their entire stream, their persona is all built on this creepy character, this furry character that they've designed that, well, let's just be honest, looking at this, you know what this is about, and you know that it's disgusting. How did nobody at Twitch realize that people would be upset if they put this on the front page of the website, where it's suggested to everybody, including children? This wasn't just a massive mistake. Quite frankly, I think something like this should have been a major news story. This kind of thing can't be allowed to happen on a website like Twitch that children are allowed to view.
And so that's happening. This is happening right now. They are unbanned at this very moment. And this is also on top of, some of these things are so ridiculous and so bad. I don't even want to bring this up, but we've had obvious terrorist promotion that's been going on Twitch. We've had people make calls to kill other streamers, or make, there was a person that said that if you, if there's somebody that lives in Florida, he's got $100,000 for you. If, something would happen to Destiny, who's another streamer on YouTube. This person, by the way, was not permabanned. So Twitch has cultivated and curated a culture of violence, abuse, borderline furry, and this is what's normal on Twitch now.
Yeah, Asmongold's right about everything he said there. The fact that Twitch allows certain streamers, who he doesn't name here, but obviously when he talks about people who are promoting terrorism, he means Hassan. Hassan has actively said things in the past, where he basically says, oh, they're not that bad. He kind of openly supports them, especially in the Israel-Hamas war. And then the other streamer who put the bounty on Destiny's head was not permabanned either. And quite frankly, I don't understand how neither one of them have faced any real consequences for that, because promoting terrorism is illegal. It's a crime. As far as I'm aware, I'm not a lawyer, and putting a bounty on somebody's head, I know is illegal. That's definitely 100% illegal. So I don't know how they didn't get banned from Twitch, but also I don't know why there have been no legal consequences for these people. You can't just threaten people. You can't just do stuff like that. It's not okay. And on top of that, there is a problem that Asmongold doesn't actually mention here, where streamers, especially Hassan and the Hassan orbiters, will accuse people of like heinous crimes with zero evidence and then just constantly refer to them. Like for instance, when they accused Tectone of being generationally bad because his father was convicted of some crimes way back in the early 2000s. Tectone had nothing to do with that, but for some reason, Hassan and his group constantly goad Tectone about it and pretend that he's responsible for it. It's ridiculous.
This is Twitch in 2025. And if you don't believe me, just check their front page. And the truth is that whenever Emiru, this is the streamer who was assaulted yesterday, whenever her security guard that she had, and this was her personal security guard that she has to pay a lot of money for because of Twitch, of course Twitch can't take care of their own people, whenever their security guard had to forcibly restrain a person who was stalking her, what ended up happening is that security guard was then banned from TwitchCon indefinitely. So just so you guys have a frame of reference for this, the security guard that protected Emiru was banned from TwitchCon for a longer period of time than the streamer who assaulted Emiru, who was only originally banned for 30 days. And the only reason why it wasn't longer, why that didn't happen, and they didn't get unbanned, is because Emiru's manager pressed it extremely hard and ended up getting this person banned, and also the video came out.
So what he's talking about there is a couple years ago when TwitchCon was in Las Vegas, one of Emiru's security guards stopped somebody who they believed was stalking Emiru from approaching her, and they held him in place until the police were able to arrive and deal with the situation. Twitch apparently banned that security guard forever from all TwitchCon events because of that incident, because he put his hands on a person who was trying to stalk Emiru. He did his job, and they banned him permanently for it, for protecting one of their top female streamers. What was he supposed to do? Just let him go up and attack her? Apparently that's what they want. I mean, that's what they let happen this year, but I've seen a lot of people saying, oh, it was actually the venue that banned him, which is not true. Emiru confirmed that in her press conference basically the other day, where she said that it was actually Twitch that had banned him from TwitchCon, because this year TwitchCon was in California, but the year that the security guard was banned was when TwitchCon was in Las Vegas. So obviously it's not the venue because it's two different venues. I genuinely can't understand why Twitch would ban a top streamer's security guard for doing their job, but I guess they just don't want their streamers to feel safe at their events.
Original idea was they were going to be banned for 30 days. This is honestly, like, I really hope somebody at Amazon is watching, because what I want you to understand is that the moderation team at Twitch is completely deranged, the advertising team is completely misguided, and the executive team is completely disconnected. At all levels of this organization, they fail. And we're in a situation now where it's gotten so bad that people's real lives and livelihoods are being affected by this.
I think Asmongold is entirely correct when he mentions that he hopes somebody at Amazon is watching. I mean, this video has over 1 million views, so hopefully somebody will see it. But unfortunately, I don't know if they care enough, right? I mean, if you actually look at the financials, Twitch represents such a minor portion of Amazon's business that I think they just kind of let it do what it's gonna do because they don't care about it. It's just a way for them to show off their video streaming services that they then sell to other companies. For instance, Kick is built off of the same technology that they use on Twitch because Amazon sells that. So Kick just bought it from them and they used it to build a competitor to Twitch. If Amazon cared that much about Twitch, they wouldn't have allowed Kick to use their technology to build a competitor for Twitch. So I don't know if anybody at Amazon actually cares at all, but I do think at a certain point they're going to have to, because it's going to start affecting their reputation. As soon as this hits the mainstream news, like if somebody on Fox News was to reach out to Asmongold and Asmongold went on there for an interview, that's when something would happen, right? And we saw there was a TMZ article actually about the Emiru attack. I don't think that that's enough. I think it's going to have to be on CNN or Fox News or something before anybody from Amazon actually cares enough to take action. Maybe Asmongold should reach out to like Fox or CNN or some other big news company that Amazon executives probably watch.
You can say that, oh, it doesn't matter, it's just words on a page or whatever, but when you have conventions, I think this is going to be the last TwitchCon, by the way. I cannot imagine anybody ever even thinking to go to another TwitchCon after this. This is it. It's over. Why the fuck would anybody go to a TwitchCon after the second? And also, by the way, as a streamer, these are things that I hear about a lot. Other people have been assaulted at previous TwitchCons. They've been roofied. There's been plenty of other really bad things that have happened. A lot of these things have happened off of the Twitch, convention center. So some of these are not technically Twitch's fault. But if Twitch doesn't know about this and they're not planning accordingly, well, then they're dumber than literally every single streamer on the platform that's ever been to TwitchCon.
Asmongold is entirely correct there. Everybody knows about this stuff going on at the parties after TwitchCon. Last year, there was a big party where a bunch of VTubers were roofied. Everybody heard about that. I heard about that. I don't work at Amazon. I'm just a small YouTuber. So if I heard about it, you know the Twitch executives heard about it, and you know that it doesn't seem like they did anything to try and prevent that, right? Not that there's a ton they can do about stuff that happens off the TwitchCon campus, but they can put out warnings to streamers. They can mention it, maybe pass out some drink covers or something, but it just doesn't seem like Twitch has taken any of this very seriously at all, especially because it's been going on for years and they've done nothing.
And that's not a very good state of affairs now, is it? So anyway, that's pretty much where things stand right now with Twitch. So you have, again, furries that are getting unbanned in less than 1 day. You have people going to the official Twitch convention with little to no security being assaulted. You have viewbotting that is effectively killing small streamers and ignoring large streamers. And you have moderation that is so very obviously politically and socially motivated. I feel like they should just come out and say that they're sponsoring certain people, or maybe certain groups. I think one of those groups seems to be Hamas, unfortunately. And the truth is that I don't really see this getting any better until people actually start speaking out about it. And that's why I wanted to make this video and really explain the extent of how bad this is.
Asmongold once again is right, where he says that people need to start talking about this. And Asmongold is, fortunately, one of the biggest creators on Twitch. He's a massive YouTuber. Quite frankly, he's probably the most qualified person to speak on issues at Twitch because he's been there for so long and he's basically been at the top for so long. Asmongold knows what's going on behind the scenes. He knows what the streamers are saying. They all talk to him. So he knows the general sentiment at Twitch. So if Asmongold is pulling the alarm and saying, guys, this is getting bad, people are going to jump ship, Twitch should listen to him because people will jump ship. If Asmongold is thinking that people are going to, if he thinks that Twitch is about to die, he knows what he's talking about. He's perhaps the only person that knows what he's talking about. I don't know that there are many streamers that pay as close attention to Twitch and the goings on at Twitch, the numbers and everything as Asmongold. It's like his entire thing. Hopefully other streamers will come forward and it won't just be Asmongold, but I do think that Asmongold coming forward as one of the biggest Twitch streamers is going to put some pressure on Twitch to try to change things. Although I don't know that the Twitch executives really like Asmongold that much, so it's possible that we might need Hassan to come out and say the same things before they actually change their tune. I don't think that's ever going to happen because now that Asmongold's taken a position on this, Hassan has to take the opposite position. I don't know how we get out of this.
I know that people can see the Emiru clip, or they can see the furry clip, or they can see, the executives at Twitch trying to pretend to be influencers rather than actually doing their job. But I think that what really is condemning is the fact that all of these things are happening at the same time. They're happening at the same time, they're being actively protected, and this is the last thing that I want to end with, and the main thing that I want to talk about, is the fact that Twitch, whenever this event happened yesterday, Twitch lied about the way that the event happened. They explicitly lied. It is verifiable. You can literally look at video and you can see that it's not true. And the reason why they're doing this is because they're trying to minimize the situation. Twitch is a platform that only cares about optics. Their moderation team has never had any principles, but now the principles that they do have are not principles. They're now weaponized. And the platform is degrading. People are leaving. And this is not an opinion, right? This is a graph. This is what the graphs are showing. And I don't really see it getting any better. So I'm making this video as a plea to anybody that has any sense, anybody at Amazon, anybody that has any awareness, please get this shit under control. Something needs to happen before this website kills itself. It's basically already killed its main big event. And I don't know where things are going to be next year. It's really sad. I've been on Twitch now for probably a little bit under 10 years now. And I've been, well known on Twitch for quite a while also. And it's sad to see such a deliberate and unnecessary thing happen to a platform that I've been streaming on for such a long time.
Interesting to note that Asmongold calls it a deliberate thing that's happening to Twitch. And I agree with him. I do think that at some level, the people on the moderation team, the people on the executive team are tanking Twitch in order to push their own politics. It's become so politicized, and as Asmongold said, they don't have any morals anymore. They just do whatever they can to push their own side and unfairly enforce the rules in favor of certain streamers who are like a protected class on Twitch, being left-wing streamers, basically. In furtherance of their left-wing goals, they've ruined the moderation system. They've shown everybody that they're unfair. They've now tried to hide an assault on Emiru. I don't know how they can get away with that, especially with all the liberal streamers who are the ones not talking about this, right? The people that you would think would be the ones who care about a woman being assaulted, they haven't said anything. I mean, Hassan had his chair react to her the other day. My point is, Twitch isn't about video games. It's not about IRL streaming. It's not about streaming at all anymore. It's about politics. The people involved in the Twitch moderation team have let politics ruin their brains, ruin their image, and ruin their website. And it's hard to say it's not deliberate. It has to be deliberate because there's no other reason to do it. If they're not planning this slow decline of Twitch, then they're really stupid. Especially because in the last election, we saw that Donald Trump won the popular vote. So they're on the more unpopular side of this issue, right? There's more right-wing people in America than left-wing people, especially because right-wing people tend not to vote at the same levels as left-wing people do. It just seems like they're choosing the wrong options at every single point they can. And I don't understand how they could do that if they're not actively trying to do it. So it seems like the failure of Twitch has been completely organized and orchestrated by people who know what's happening and they can see the issues, but they can't stop themselves because that would hurt them politically. At least that's my understanding of the situation.
I'm really sad to see it, and I wanted to make a video and talk about this because I feel like a lot of other people in my position don't really want to. They don't want to rock the boat for whatever other reason, and YouTubers do it, but they're not streamers. I do a lot of both, and that's why I want to talk about it, bring everything together, and show you guys just how bad this really is. And I'm sure that really, I'm probably only scratching the surface. And I think that it is time, it's past time for a degree of accountability and a genuine change. I don't know when that's going to happen, But if it doesn't happen soon, I can pretty much assume that Twitch is going to keep going downhill. So anyway, guys, hyperbolic, it has been for a while, but I think that hyperbole is becoming reality. So that's about all I've got. Let me know what you guys think. If there's anything I forgot, I missed out on, that I forgot to mention in the video, make sure to let me know in the comments, and I'll make sure to talk about those later on.
So, like Asmongold just said as he's ending the video, a lot of streamers don't want to talk about this. They don't want to rock the boat. They don't want to end up the victim of Twitch's moderation system, because Twitch's moderation system really does seem to target people. They were very obviously targeting Tectone a few months ago. They've targeted other people, especially people who go against a certain political leaning in the past. And while I can't prove that they're actually targeting these people, it always seems to go a certain way. Left-wing streamers get a lot of leeway, whereas right-wing streamers don't. These streamers, they don't want to talk about this because they're worried that it will hurt their relationships with the executives, that it will hurt them from getting brand deals and hurt them from getting Twitch collaborations. They won't be able to go on the Twitch Rivals games or anything like that. They'll just have to be relegated to the sidelines and basically labeled a persona non grata like Tectone was. It's depressing to see that none of these streamers have any type of moral sense that requires them to come out and speak against some of the gross things that Twitch has done recently, especially the Emiru case, right? One of the top female streamers on Twitch was at a Twitch sponsored event with security provided by Twitch and her own security, and a man came up, grabbed her, and tried to kiss her in front of like 100 people in the meet and greet line. The only person to act at all was the security guard that she had hired. The Twitch security did nothing. They let the guy walk away, and it wasn't until hours later, according to Emiru, that they actually found out who he was and stopped him and pulled his badge and everything like that. If streamers aren't willing to call out Twitch over that, will they ever be able to call out Twitch over anything? You'd think these people, right? Like I said earlier, these are left-wing streamers. A lot of the streamers at the top of Twitch are left-wing. So why aren't they speaking out about this? Isn't the Me Too movement like an entirely left-wing thing? Shouldn't you be calling out Twitch for mistreating a woman who was just assaulted at their venue? Because it seems like it's only right-wing people or non-political people who are calling them out. It's none of the people who are at the top of Twitch. It bothers me a lot because this is the kind of thing that needs to be called out, because not only did they not protect Emiru, they then lied about it and said, oh, we had this wonderful response. We did all this stuff. We banned him indefinitely right away, and we found him right away. None of that was true. They didn't find him right away because they let him walk away. And then they also tried to ban him for 30 days instead of indefinitely. And the only reason he was banned indefinitely was because Emiru's manager was probably threatening a lawsuit. So it's just ridiculous to me that nobody else is calling this out, and then it falls to Asmongold. I mean, Asmongold is basically the face of Twitch, to be honest with you, but it shouldn't just be him. It should be everybody. There's no reason that it only has to be Asmongold who's making these statements. And of course, we've seen a lot of people on Twitter, usually VTubers. Actually, I found the VTuber communities have all been pretty adamant at calling out what happened to Emiru, but none of the big top LA streamers have, and that's disappointing. So I think that Asmongold was entirely correct in everything he said in this video. I think that this video needs to get spread around. It needs to be seen by people at Amazon, and it just needs to be seen by the general public, because eventually, if the PR storm gets bad enough for Twitch, they'll have to change, right? And I think they deserve some PR backlash over the way they handled the Emiru incident. It is astonishing to me that they would lie in that circumstance, as if they didn't expect Emiru to just call them out. She's a live streamer, for God's sake. She goes on stream and talks to people for hours every day. How did they not think that she would just tell people that they were lying? Are they that stupid? I don't know. Maybe they just thought they could have pushed it under the rug, because a lot of these other streamers, a lot of these big streamers in LA, they probably would have let them sweep it under the rug. They wouldn't have called out Twitch. I am happy to see Emiru had the confidence to come out and call out Twitch for this, because I don't think she's getting enough credit. It was probably a huge risk. There was probably a lot of pressure on her to say nothing, and I'm glad that she stood up for herself. But what do you guys think? Do you think that Asmongold was right? Do you think Twitch needs pushback on what happened with Emiru? Can you believe some of the stuff that Twitch lets people get away with? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this reaction video. It's a new thing I'm trying out, and so let me know if you like it in the comments. Thank you. Remember to like and subscribe. Have a great day, and God bless you.